Watch the entire video, my lovely viewers, to get the whole thing. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Hi lovely viewers, it's me again, your one and only Mutati Mpundu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn the bell icon to join the notification squad. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you lovely viewers.
So good evening, Bane. I just wanted to talk about this issue of the lawyer. I've seen that there is a little bit of a confusion here, or not, or I don't know if it's confusion anyway. But I think we need some kind of clarity on what is going to happen tomorrow relating to the burial of Edgar Chagwalungu. So, as we all know, the case where we are right now, is that the family lost that case. Where we are now is that the family lost that case. Mungu mfikishe bwino bwino sana hapa, munkonke. The family so far lost that case. But as usual, the PF are doing too much propaganda. They are doing propaganda to make it look like, the case is just starting anew. No, the case is not new. This case has already been concluded about 70%. This case has been concluded about 70%. Yes, there is now a new lawyer that has come in. And this new lawyer who has come in, people want to take it like the case is starting now. And, they are creating false hopes in people. Va PF ofo baba, va PF babufi, va PF bali kwata propaganda, but, bali kwata propaganda. They are making it look like kesere ya tampa. They're making it look like, no, na kuisa nomba loyo mkali. Now, whatever, talu sapo. Alile kuhegi. Whatever. Imwe. Hii kesi niyo luza. Kesi yaba Edgar Lungu niyo luza kudala. Banaluza kudala. They have already lost this case. What they are trying to do is to salvage something that has already been lost. They are trying to salvage the situation. So don't be confused. Kesi ni yo luza kudala. Banaluza kudala. Now, they are struggling. They don't want to accept the loss, and they want to salvage it. But unfortunately, it's a very difficult case to salvage. It's a very difficult to turn this case around. It's very difficult to turn it around. It is a very difficult case to turn around, regardless of who you are and what accolades you have as a lawyer. You could have the preceding titles. You could be doctor, you could be professor, you could be whatever. The case before whoever it is a bad case. And you see, I've been trying every day to go through the issues in this case. Don't look at the lawyer. No, lawyer na iso mukali. Lawyer na iso mukuli. No mukali. Okay. Mukali. But tell us, what are the arguments? Tell us, what are the arguments? Let's look at the arguments. What are the arguments? But why are you panicking? No, I'm not panicking. Ni mwa omle chita panic. Ni mwa omle chita panic. Muli busy. Keshi. Whatever. Na kuisa no mukadi. Whatever. Mukadi, yes. But what is he going to argue? What is he going to be bringing in court? Which will turn around this case. What is he going to bring? And before I go to discuss other issues, let us ask ourselves to say, what are the arguments? What are the arguments in this matter? What are the arguments? Number one, the argument of the Lungu family is that no, Edgar Lungu said that I don't want a Hakainde Hichilema near my body on my funeral. That is the number one argument. And what is the court saying? The court is saying, we are in South Africa. We are in South Africa. How can we, as a South African court, stop another president from attending a funeral? How? And tell me, even if that lawyer is from wherever, it can be from Harvard, it can be from wherever. Surely, even Naimowe na Pomudi, even where you are yourselves, tell me, can a South African court stop another president to say, don't attend the funeral? Can they? Just think of it. No, law ya South Africa. Number one question. No, according to Lungu's wishes, the wishes of Edgar Lungu is that Hakainde Hichilema should not come near the body. Should not come. He should not be part of it. Now, that was his wish. The question that I have for you, can a court in South Africa rule that Hakainde Hichilema should not be part of a funeral in Zambia? Can they? No, because actually this funeral is going to be held in South Africa. That's why we are not going to whatever. The question is, we are talking about Edgar Lungu's wishes. Did Edgar Lungu wish to be buried in South Africa? No. The family didn't say Edgar Lungu said he should be buried in South Africa. The family said he doesn't just want Hakainde Hichilema, but he didn't say bury me in South Africa. So, if you are talking about Edgar Lungu and his wishes, the issue of burying him in South Africa doesn't arise. It doesn't arise because he didn't say bury me in South Africa. Okay, fine. Next, it is the family. It is Esther and the children. They are the ones who are saying, no, we should bury him in South Africa. We should bury him in South Africa. Why should you bury him in South Africa? No, we should bury him in South Africa because he was not treated as a former head of state. He was not treated as a former head of state because he was stopped from jogging, because he was stopped from going to church, because he was stopped, benefits were removed. And the court has refused to enter into those issues. The court has refused. The court has refused because those are bitterness. Those are emotions. Those are emotions. That is bitterness. The court has refused to enter into bitterness. Oh, you treated me this way. Oh, you treated me this way. The court has refused to enter into that. The court was very clear. They asked that lawyer before. They asked him, what you are trying to tell us, are you telling us that we should write that in our judgment? We should write bitterness in our judgment. The court refused to enter into that because they do understand that it's politics. It's politics which was involved, whereby Edgar Lungu was playing his politics and the government was also playing its politics. Oh, no. But they removed the what is this? The benefits. They removed the benefits. So now in his death, why do they want to recognize him as a former head of state? No, they shouldn't. And there is an argument that Edgar Lungu came back into politics. And when you come back into politics, your benefits must be withdrawn. So it is a case which is very difficult, whereby the court cannot enter into that. Those are emotions. Because if they start considering those emotions to say, no, Hakainde Hichilema treated him this way, you treated him this way, Hakainde Hichilema can also come in and start saying, he locked me up, he shot at me, I had to go through the roof. When we were campaigning in I don't know, in Sesheke, they fired live bullets on me. And the court has refused. They can't enter into that. And even you think the court can entertain the Makebi Zulu story? The Makebi Zulu story cannot stand because it is shrouded in politics. So the argument of the family, which is the Makebi Zulu story, the court has refused to entertain that. And kuti mwaingirira mofepo apo penefe muri tamulingira okuba lawyer tamulingira okuba degree abu lawyer, because some of you are saying, hey, you daddy, you are talking about this, hey, where did you do law? Tapalisha law apa. Common sense, just common sense. Are you telling me the court is going to start dwelling in bitterness? Hey, you treated me like this. Hey, you treated me like this. Are you telling me that's what the court will entertain? No matter what this brilliant lawyer can say, the court cannot entertain that. The court cannot entertain that. And that is the point from the family. That is the point from the family. Basically, there are these two issues. These are the main issues. These two. They are the main issues. Number one, the wishes of Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Number two, the wishes of the family. And both of them, they don't stand anywhere. They have got no legs. They have got no legs. Now, you are bringing in the issue of, no, the court is following Zambian law. They are not supposed to follow the Zambian law. They are supposed to follow the South African law. Is Edgar Lungu a South African? Is Edgar Lungu a South African? Is Edgar Lungu a South African? And he's not just an ordinary person. Edgar Lungu is a former head of state, a person that swore to uphold the constitution of Zambia. He swore to uphold the constitution of Zambia. When he was alive, he swore, I will protect and uphold the Zambian constitution. Nobody therefore follow South African law. Follow South African law. Come on, guys, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? No, the South African law says that the body must be given to the family. The body must be given to the family. The question is Edgar Lungu a South African? No, it's human rights. Human rights for the South African. You cannot start claiming human rights. Of course, human rights are universal. Human rights are universal. But in this aspect, this is not a human rights recognized rights, so to say, or freedom. Yes, they are universal, fundamental human rights. But this is not one of those fundamental human rights. It's not. It's not. It is not a fundamental human rights which you can go and argue in Hague, which you can argue in an international court. Where I say I should be buried or where my family wants me to be buried is not a fundamental human right. It's not. It's not. So this one, it's an issue that has to be debated. It's an issue that has to be debated. And as such, they are asking, the South African government is asking to say, this man who died, who is he? He's a Zambian, number one. Number two, he's not just a Zambian, he's actually a former head of state. So as a former head of state, are you telling me this man should be buried in South Africa as a former head of state? Imwapo mwikeli, mukutontonkanya kwenu, a former head of state to be buried in another country. When his government is saying, we want him, we want to bury him here, with honors as a former head of state, you think the court will say, awe, because our constitution is not South African. He is not South African. He is a former head of state. And he swore to uphold the constitution of Zambia. Today, Mumfayakwe, you cannot go and start claiming rights yakwa malema. Same like even me. Panon Dinganafwa, you cannot start claiming Amaruz Yakuno. Amaruz Yakuno. This country, well, it's not a Muslim country, but you know, it's mainly Muslim. I could call it that way. So imagine, Inenganafwa, Nafwira Kuno. This country, I mean, majority are Muslim. Majority are Muslim. So Nafwira Kuno, pa. Are you going to start claiming to say, no. After all, we are in Malaysia. So we should bury Tayari according to, you know, the laws of this country. Would that make sense? Yeah? Would that make sense? No, he was in exile. Because he was in exile, so the rules of Zambia will not apply. Will not apply. No. He was in exile. And he was in exile because of Hakainde Hichilema, because of UPND. So, no, we are not going to follow the Zambian rules. Yeah? Just imagine me, I'm a Yahweh. I'm a Yahweh. I've never been in government. But I'm a politician, and a big politician for that matter. Yeah. The biggest opposition. So, when I die, do you think the Malaysian government will say, no, you are right. We are going to follow the rules here. You Zambians go to hell. Just imagine, Padi Inefi, just on me. If the government says, no, we want Tayari to be buried in Zambia. We want him. And then my family will be there. No. We don't want. According to the Malaysian rule, would it make sense, Imwe? Imwe, it's more dead than Edgar Lungu. This case, it's a dead one. It's more dead than Edgar Lungu. You cannot cling on. No, Amaruzi out South Africa. Awe. And I'm saying this, I've given myself as an example. I'm here in Malaysia, and in Malaysia, because some of you want to know a fugitive. No, a fugitive. I'm not a fugitive. A fugitive, you don't know where he is. You cannot call a person a fugitive. Every day I report social media. I don't ever know that you are a fugitive. That's being down. There is another guy when I was on TV. No, but Daddy, you are a fugitive. Where? You don't know a fugitive. A fugitive is one who is running away and you don't even know where he is. Interpol. Kwisa. I'm here. Everybody knows. Even the government knows. Even Hakainde Hichilema knows. Even if Musamba knows. Nobody, I mean, I'm not in hiding. So the point is, are you going to come here and start claiming Zambian law? Malaysian law? Can I claim? Can I claim Malaysian law? As far as my death is concerned, as far as where I'm supposed to be to be buried. Can it make sense? Can it make sense? Pantu wala mishinda ula. You know? Wala mishinda ula. Vena dile mtambo nga waikala na kachea kabunga waikala. Na Emmanuel Mwambaisa vikapo. Mwafurungana. Wami pompa. But does it make sense? Even Emmanuel Mwamba where he is. If he dies, and the government says, no, that is our former diplomat. We want him back. We want to bury him here. Is he going to claim, no, here in America, is Mwamba an American? Is Mwamba an American? Even you nankade atinani, ulema yuandudi, Vivian Mtambo. Is she going to claim? No. Anyway, because balala alikuwa ama passport ya kufia rofimbi. Then now they can claim they are citizens of wherever they are. But Emmanuel Mwamba, it cannot. Me, I am in exile. I cannot. Now, we as ordinary citizens cannot. What about Edgar Lungu, who is a former head of state? Can you claim that only the rules of South Africa should apply on him? Can you? Is it making sense, Mwebantu? Is there some technicalities that you should think about? And then, because now there is this new lawyer. So this new lawyer, what is he going to argue? Because this came out very clearly. Very clear when they were in court. It came out very clear that it is, yes, there is this rule, but this rule must be looked at, must look at the circumstances. And the circumstances is that Edgar Lungu is not South African. Number two, Edgar Lungu is a former head of state who swore to uphold the constitution of Zambia. So, you can't be talking about South African law. Then we cannot follow the Kaunda case. We cannot follow the Kaunda case because the Kaunda case, I don't know what technicalities you are bringing up, but you are trying to make it to say the South African law, the South African court was wrong to refer to Kaweche Kaunda versus the Attorney General. They are saying, no, they shouldn't have. Now, that case went into court. Didn't he go to court? I am not taking technicalities. The question is, wasn't that case in court? Wasn't that judgment that we are looking at? Wasn't it delivered in court? Wasn't it delivered in court? So, vuto ilipacha kuti mwambo kambati iyai, simunga, you cannot talk about that case. The question is very simple. Ija judgment inachokera kuti Makebi Zulu and Chambers. Who wrote that judgment? Was it Makebi Zulu? Who wrote that judgment? It came from court. But now they're trying to confuse. No, that judgment, that court, whatever. And afterwards, it came after Kaunda. The issue is, where did it come from? It came from court. No, by that time, Kaunda died as a former head of state. Edgar Lungu did not die as a former head of state. Are you serious? Are those arguments that you can be making? Those are arguments that you have to let Lydian Mtambo argue. Lydian Mtambo can say that. It's okay. She's on social media. She's enjoying. She can say that. Chair can say that. Kaidi, when they are politicking. But before court, the question is very simple. And the judges asked, is this man who died not a former head of state? Is this man who died not a former head of state? Can you prove that Edgar Lungu was not a former head of state? No, they removed the benefits. The question is, what makes Lungu a former head of state? Is it the benefits or him swearing that I shall be president of this country, and him ruling Zambia for 7 years, exercising executive powers? What makes Edgar Lungu a former head of state? Is it the benefits banacho sako? Because banacho sako ma benefits. So manje ni Shilungu ankala muntu gwamba. Nishu president Wasira. Whatever he did, everything is forgotten. Is it making sense to you? Is it making sense to you? What makes Edgar Lungu a former head of state? Is it my benefits? Because wanampisha kucheichi manje wakampisha nisha Kwasira manje is no longer a former head of state. Tafirepanga na sensi. Ela inepo mumpatira papeni because inenda da fefintomo fiberere. I just say things as they are. So these are the arguments which are there. And these arguments which are there at this stage, this new lawyer who has come in, he cannot even bring new evidence. No, he can't. He can't even bring in new evidence. He can't. He case manalusa kudala, bali lusa kali avena aba family abalungu, bali lusa. And since bali lusa, where we are, that new lawyer, pa appeal, you don't bring new evidence. You don't bring in new evidence. So even changing the lawyer doesn't help much. If that lawyer that they hired first, if he was a bad lawyer and he did a bad job of this case or on this case, if he did a bad job, that bad job is what is on record. On appeal, they don't look at new evidence. There is nothing like bringing new evidence. There is nothing. So, this new lawyer of yours, he can have all the accolades, he can have all success story, history, no Sanalusepo case, which I doubt. I don't believe that, a lawyer taking up a case like this one has never lost. No, I don't believe it. He has probably taken this case because of the its position, and the money involved. You think those are lawyers that you would bring to court natuma 10 pin? Those are not lawyers that you bring in court natuma 10 pin in a foreign land, in South Africa, dealing with a former head of state against a government. You think there is more money is there? And that's why chimani kalipa ine epo chinkali pela papele. Inena lepunda lebwele po. Nde chula no tupia. Kanshi wa mambala bali sungenda lama. This is where it actually hurts me. Some of these, a reaction that you see is as a result of realizing that the Lungu family are very selfish. They are very selfish, very deceptive. They were looking like, they don't have money. I'm coming here on social media saying, how we Balungu tawakwe timpia. Diya wafwa. Ero kwisa mone finala manumba file njila vekwa folokota. Have you seen how much money they have wasted? Have you seen how much money they have wasted? Can you say these are people that didn't have money? Bayeti Kalungu was saying, no, we cannot have a convention because we don't have money. We cannot have a convention, we don't have money. But ever since Lungu died, the money that they have wasted, how many conventions can they have? They can even have 5 conventions. They have spent a lot of money just ukusunga echitumbi chilya, ukusunga echitumbi mu fridge for 1 day. It costs a lot of money. 1 day. They are paying a lot. They are paying a lot. It's like umuntu naikala mu hotel. What they are paying pa chitumbi, ukusunga chitumbi, it is more than you can pay in a 5-star hotel. 1 day. 1 day ukusunga chitumbi mu fridge. It's more than what you can pay in a 5-star hotel. Nombalolation pendenya days. Nishinga. Money indeke, they have been flying around. What's that flying na archbishop? Eh? What's that gonna fly na archbishop? These guys, I mean, they are wasting so much money. But they were busy pretending that they don't have money. Imam mwanakwat, no tayari, you are getting money. Tapani ndalama wale mpira wa PF. And I was, taking it to say, tapani mpia. But look at the money that they are wasting. Even that very lawyer, of Uminevatamfishe, they paid a lot of money to that lawyer. They must have paid in millions to that lawyer, I can assure you. They must have paid a lot of money. So all of a sudden, Shaf Makwis and Dalama, they even bought a house. Balungu wale watawako itempia, so na left makukoti, nde vikisha 1 day. 1 day. Mulanda pali 20 pin. What is 20 pin? What is 20 pin? There was 1 day I remember I came from court in Dalanish. Na iwipa. Kunganda kumandita kulifia kudia. Ama light shanja. Nishna fibipe vintu panganda. I went to court. I didn't even have fuel in my car. I think who gave me a lift? Somebody gave me a lift to go to court. Na fumakudia njeberao na yakuri balungu imwe wantu shan kunganda whatever. Ba maewa esta varia vandongera amakabeji vaingira mpantry bagula kama ni shan efo vandongere vampea na 5 pin. No, tatukwete mpia. And I believed them. I was like, yeah. I mean, if I'm fighting for these people the way I'm fighting, I'm the biggest fighter in this. I'm the biggest soldier. I'm the biggest soldier. And you go kumandawa yarida. Elo bakulongera makabeji. Bakulongera ntwanikane tufinta. Bakupela 5 pin. I believed them. I don't like them for that. Some of these things that you're saying, hey, now pivuka, hey, you don't appreciate mulifipuwa because balungu na liwachulile sana. Na liwachulile ndemieva. Apana ndatasha munduvile. Every day ndatasha munduvile. I praise munduvile because munduvile at least looked after me better than balungu. Most of the times, the person that was helping me is Brian Munduvile back then. Not number, back then. So, but my candidate, hey, tautasha, mulifipuva. You don't know how I suffered for that man. At the end of the day, I even lost my family. My family is scattered. I'm here. I'm struggling. Because even here, I'm struggling. And I was doing all that on the belief that Walungu didn't have money. I believed Walungu didn't have money. But vale bepa fyo bufi. Na muchitumbi chabo. Vale bepa fyo bufi. Na muchitumbi chabo. So, kutina shimpa muno kwa tu. Bamdala imo mulibaka so. Bamdala imo you made me suffer. I tell you, kutina shimpa muno so mulibarungu. Muchitumbi chabo. Dimecho wale chifishira no kuchifishira. Kutina shimpa muno kwa timo bamdala. You caused me to suffer. You pretended you don't have money. But look, na shisokoloke ndala mashaba lungu. Shali sokoloka ba mambalo wa pera maafu ukuchita shani muleba muna ku South Africa. Bali nuku South Africa busy. Na mashunguruka ba Esther. Bali ndala mapada mwiranga. Pada maafu. Bonse bakandire balya bonse. All those people that you are thinking that they don't have money. But have you seen how they have been flying back and forth in South Africa, out, in South Africa, out? Apatulela so, bali hotel South Africa. Apatulela and bali hotel in South Africa. Uyu ina makebi Zulu, nenchitwali deka. Nenchitwali deka, makebi Zulu is not working. But how long has he stayed there? You think Makebi Zulu is staying there? Muchushi. You can see, because some of you might not understand, but I'm pointing you to see that these people, they actually store. Actually, they store because the money that they have, I'm telling you, they have. Muteka nyefe. Muteka nyefe. Mkalachanga mwa inyemitwe na wola. Na inyemitwe na wola. These people, they are after power. It is a clique of a Lungu cartel. It is a clique of a Lungu cartel of people that have amassed money, people that store money from the government. They store money, not to cover Chantan. They store money. And they have this money. And they want to use this money to gain back power. They want to use that money to gain back power. And by Esther, she's the queen. She's the queen. Uyu, tuampeleko shakuti, uyu, tuampeleko shakuti, uyu, shan. And they are busy going back to report. They are busy going back to report. Oh, madam, ila factory, irenda fe wino. Oh, madam, shan, uko ila business, madam, ila shan, you know. That is what is there. So part of this reaction, when you say, hey, you don't appreciate it, because, I mean, I suffered. I'm a cabbage. I'm a cabbage. I'm paying a 5 pin. 5 pin. Now, of course, what is 5 pin? What is 5 pin? What is 5 pin? 5 pin na tray man. Na cabbage. What is 5 pin? You don't appreciate. You don't appreciate. You don't appreciate. You don't appreciate. Look, 400,000 pin. 400,000 pin. If I chula. Bena wamkula 400 pin. Bapela med. Kaliye kafise. Epo wabudi the 400,000 pin. 400,000 pin. Imwe. Mweba de sabaida. 400,000 pin. Kaliye kafise. Nishinishinga wakwete. Nishinishinga wakwete. Ela yoika ye pa social media. Hey, Edgar Lungu was a very selfish man. And I speak from experience. He was a very selfish man, a very crooked man. I'm telling you, I say it, and I'm speaking from experience. Speaking from experience, because takwa muntu wa fida zone. Are ipanga mdala, ipanga kamdala, kwa takapote maafu. Nomba na shisokoroke ndalama, na shisokoroka. Bakandila wale mwone kabonse wala bakandila wale. Abali nuka kwati, the party of forward. At just refund. Uri chipuba, refund. How often I straight the Garungu wing? If I straight the Garungu wing at refund the 5p. If I straight the Garungu wing, I've ended up in exile because of Edgar Lungu. I've ended up in exile. I am here in exile because of Edgar Lungu. It is not because of HH. HH is reacting to what we were doing. HH is reacting to what we were doing. We wanted to take Hakainde Hichilema out of power. That was our fight. That was our fight. We wanted to remove Hakainde Hichilema from power. And of course, Hakainde Hichilema had to react. So, if you really say, who made me to be in exile? Who? Tuale ikala tuale tureplana na walungu tureplana. Uyu muntu tuala mutenu noi. Uyu muntu tuala mutenu noi. Hakainde Hichilema ni dictator. Hakainde Hichilema must resign. All those videos, they were there. All those videos are there. I was there. Hakainde Hichilema must resign. Hakainde Hichilema must resign. Hakainde Hichilema is a dictator. Zambians should rise against Hakainde Hichilema. You think Hakainde Hichilema will just sit there and watch me? Eh? Who just sit there and watch me? An influential man like me. An influential man like me. And let's face it, some of you, you couldn't even fathom that Edgar Lungu can come back. Some of you who are pledging this love, you seem to be so much in love with Edgar Lungu. It is me who made you to love Edgar Lungu. It is me who made you to love Edgar Lungu. It is me who convinced you to love Edgar Lungu. When Edgar Lungu left power, you couldn't even imagine that Edgar Lungu can come back. Edgar Lungu was finished. He was finished. Even himself knew that he was finished. It is me who came up and brought Edgar Lungu back on the scene, on the political landscape. You think that is cheap? Eh? Because some of you say, hey, where do you work? What do you do? What do you do? Anyway, I am a brand. I convince people this job. This is a job that I have. It's a big job and I should pay a lot. I should pay a lot. You know what it means to market a person, to market a finished person. Eh? Balungu was finished. Balungu was finished. I brought him back on the political scene. And you think that is cheap? Eh? I know my value. I know my value. ZNB singa waanangu pa TV. Wapa Millennium TV. At I want advert candy to be put advert candy for 15 minutes. How much do you pay? How much do you pay? Now think of it. Nde kalapano na amba okskima so kwa nde pitamo okay tola so. I work very hard, very hard. Very hard, and I must be paid for what I do. Because you don't realize that in Ninchito, I made Balungu. And if Balungu was generous, if Balungu was a good boss, I shouldn't have been suffering. I shouldn't have been suffering. So it's nonsense. Some of you to say, no, hey, you should start, get a job. I have a job. I have a job for which I should be paid well. Because my job can bring down a government. My job make a person a president. We made him a president. 2015, how did I enter into politics? I entered into politics to campaign for Balungu because I saw he was weak. I saw he was weak in 2014 when Wasata died. I saw he was weak. We had to campaign for him. And somebody will say, no, he was not weak. If he was not weak, how many votes did he win against Hakainde Hichilema? So if we didn't go out to campaign for him, if I didn't put myself to campaign for him, if I didn't put myself to campaign for him, you think he would have won against Hakainde Hichilema? A lot of you like to say, hey, you are talking too much about Hakainde Hichilema. Why was I busy every day talking about Hakainde Hichilema? Every day, bringing down Hakainde Hichilema, bringing Hakainde Hichilema down, because I wanted Edgar Lungu to be president. I contributed to make Edgar Lungu president. Without some of us, Edgar Lungu wouldn't have been president. Hakainde Hichilema tare mwamenshi. I was on him because I saw he was powerful. And we needed to defeat him. And we defeated him. Narrowly. So don't even say, no, he was not. Edgar Lungu was not. Edgar Lungu has never been powerful. He has never been. Edgar Lungu has never been powerful. When he was alive, he has never been powerful. But now, because of the money that they have stolen, they want to protect that money. They want to make Edgar Lungu powerful in his dead body. It can't happen. The point I'm trying to make to tell you is that these people, no matter you bring in this case is a bad case. And I'm telling you that they are doing this because they're spending a lot of money. There is money that is at stake here. There is money that is at stake. There is money that is at stake here. Our accounts, money. Most of these people that you see in South Africa, their accounts have been frozen. Their properties, they have been seized. How is it that they are managing these huge expenses? How? Because and I'm realizing it now when I'm looking to say, shit, look at these people. And yet, thinking that they still have money. They still have money. So, excuse me when you see me reacting like this. In a child in Kadipa, I am here because of Edgar Lungu. Yes, Hakainde reacted naturally like anywhere. When you see somebody pushing an agenda, when you see somebody coming close to take over your power, after watching her for 17 years, you think Hakainde would have just sat there waiting for us? Because if Hakainde was not reacting, that's a fact. That is a fact. So you have to react. You have to react. And that's how I've ended up in exile. And in me being here, it's not that Edgar Lungu was receiving what money, nothing. It is not like that. Yes, they were paying my rentals. That is a fact. They were paying my rentals. 1,500. 1,500. They were paying my rentals. In them ever. They were paying my rentals. 1,500. That's what I pay here. 1,200. Notuma bill na tumbi na tumbi. 1,500. That's all. That's all. How was I surviving? That is something else. I've got children. I've got my wife. Kufialo kumbiuka. How? Was I surviving? You think it has been easy? It hasn't been easy. And you think I should be happy now? Seeing people wasting money pachitumbi. Wasting money pachitumbi. Every day waledi pira. Ukusunge chitumbi chakwa former head of state. Kuchirika mu fridge. Those of you who live in the compound, you know these things. Banebanga wasungisha kwenkoko. Ngabalesungisha kwenkoko. Nishinga mubachaja. Because this is common in compound. Ma compound kwaliwa tamwa kwata fridge, but ikabushito tumunani, you give your neighbor. Bamisungirako. Mwapela kwa 50 kwacha, mwapela kwa 50 kwacha. No mbechi tumbi chava lungu. Ni hotel muntu andi, ni hotel. A big room, executive room in a 5-star hotel. That's what they are paying those people. And they are paying every day. They are paying every day. Nishinga, Shiref Makwi, tell me, Shiref Makwi, sir. Wadi vendarama bamambala, wadi vendarama. Wadi vendarama. And they want to come back. They want to come back. It is about them wanting to come back. But unfortunately, the case that they have is a bad case. They have already lost this case. They have lost it. Hey, Esther. Hey, the widow. 400,000 pin by the pyramid. Nishinga ba muletontonga nesho wakwatawa maeva Esther. Nishinga. Opo wale fumia 400,000 pin. 400,000 pin. Dollars, by the way. 400,000 pin by the pyramid. Medaya chirisha. I'll show now that. Nishinga wakwata. Iwe na wika lo rechula. Ule mwana tuwaesta wakesa kwafwa. Ine, nde irishanya, pano nde irishanya. I'm complaining. As their number one soldier, I'm complaining. Ngaiwe. What are you going to benefit? What are you going to benefit? What are you going to benefit? We can def hey, Lungu, what are you going to benefit? Ikesi, tapali winga ipiribula. It is a bad case. And even this lawyer, he has seen that it's a bad case. Because you see, what Makebi Zulu did after Valusa, when they lost the case, what did Makebi Zulu do? Makebi Zulu, they appealed. Okay? They appealed. They put a notice of appeal. Not really, they wanted to appeal. They put up a notice of appeal. But you see, this new lawyer, he has seen that Casey doesn't stand a chance to appeal. Because per appeal, you don't bring new evidence. And I'm sure he has looked at the evidence. He has looked at the evidence to say, Tapali Filipwapa, there is nothing there. So we are going to lose this case. Okay? This new lawyer, he has seen that this case doesn't have legs to stand on. Why? He doesn't have legs to stand on because, I mean, the arguments, which are just two, the wishes of Edgar Lungu, the wishes of the family, the wishes of Edgar Lungu, I don't want Edgar Lungu nearby me. And the court is saying, no, we can't talk about that. You have to take it to Zambia. Number two, no, the family is saying he should be buried here because he was not treated as a former head of state. The court is saying, we are not interested. We cannot go into those politics. We can't. The third point is, no, the South African law. Edgar Lungu was not South African. Edgar Lungu was former head of state. So, will you lawyer you? Now, Mutati case this case is bad. He has seen that the case is bad. So, he is avoiding an appeal. He's avoiding an appeal. So, he went to court. He went to court and said, no, we want to talk. Okay? As parties, we want to talk. So give us time so that we can talk. And that is how the court adjourned the matter to tomorrow. So the case is supposed to come back tomorrow to hear a notice of appeal. To hear a notice of appeal. But what did this lawyer do? This intelligent lawyer who wants to make money. Who wants to make money? What did he do? He went and started a fresh case in the Constitutional Court. Mwamona? He went and started a fresh case in the Constitutional Court. Ukuku saiju ku High Court na mwana tukuta palifiri koko. But you know, smart as he is, I agree, he's smart. He's a state council. He's a state council. But amona ukuchita appeal tapade voto wala sanga mwa but tapade kofidea. So what does he do? He applies brakes ku High Court. Okay? He applies brakes to say, no, we want to talk. Because if he had not applied for an adjournment on Friday, that case would have been disposed of on Friday itself. And the body would have been in Zambia. So, amona ukuna fibi poku. Achako break yuku. Apiluka, no kuyachita, foul. A matter freshly, mu Constitutional Court. Fresh number. Atampa kesi imbi. Ni nyeba di kesi nyo luza kudala. Wali lusa kale. And what they are doing is trying to salvage the situation. Now amona tukuna fibi bakale. So, lawyer you achenjera. Awe, prefer tulande. Don't close the case today. Then he goes now to the Constitutional Court. He starts a new case. And what is the new case that he has started? He has started a new case. He's saying, if a judgment va passing the High Court is illegal. Okay? It's illegal. It's illegal. You should cancel it. He is asking the Constitutional Court. He is trying to put life in a case. This case is gone. It's gone. If they had argued on Friday, I'm telling you, by now, the judges would have ruled and the body would have been in Zambia. And I'm not just talking from without, because why I'm saying this, I'm looking at the arguments. The arguments don't stand a chance. Edgar Lungu said, we don't want I don't want Hakainde Hichilema there. But he never said, don't bury me in Zambia. He never said that. He said, I don't want Hakainde Hichilema. But he didn't say, bury me in South Africa. So meaning, those issues cannot be dealt in South Africa. They must be dealt in Zambia. Number two, the family is saying, no, we don't want to bury in Zambia because Hakainde Edgar Lungu was not treated as a former head of state. And the court said, isn't this man who died a former head of state? And even you where you are sitting, you know. And then, no, South African law is for the South Africans. It's not for Zambians. And Edgar Lungu is a former head of state. No, Kaunda's case and whatever. Didn't that judgment come from a court? It came from a court. So, based on the grounds, there is no ground. But then there is another point which is very important. That case was not heard by a single judge. That case was not heard by a single judge. It was heard by 3 judges. You know why they had to put 3 judges? You know what that means? 3 judges? It means, I mean, the judgment that comes from 3 judges, and all 3 judges, they agreed. There was no dissent. All 3 judges were in agreement. 3 judges. So if 3 judges looked at this case and came up with a ruling, you think they would have turned around to say no appeal so that other judges can look at it? I don't think so. I don't think so. And one other thing that you have to understand is that don't look at the judges as if they are so isolated. No. A court is a system. A court is a body headed by the Chief Justice. These judges, as much as they are independent and autonomous, they do consult each other. They do pay attention to some of the cases which are happening. They do. They do. Especially high-profile cases such as this one. They do listen to each other. So this case, this new lawyer, he knew that so he has started a case now, and he's saying, no, that judgment should be squashed. It should be squashed. And in the Constitutional Court, basically, I'm sure he has put up some to my constitutional matters. And one of the constitutional matters is that case which I'm telling you to say, no, in South Africa, you should give the body to the next of kin. These are my cases that he wants to bring to the Constitutional Court, starting the case afresh, like giving the case a new life. A new life. But basically, he knows that this case is not going anywhere. He knows that this case is not going anywhere. This lawyer is just being smart to give this case a new life. But a new life, this case is already lost. I hope you follow me very well on this issue. Ukuko High Court now Sakale. So he wants to give it a new life, to start afresh. Because now Constitutional Court number kukabanama hearing shan only in the Constitutional Court. In the Constitutional Court you can bring evidence because the case is new. So here in the High Court he cannot bring new evidence. But he wants to find a way of sneaking some of the matters that he thinks could help the matter, by bringing it in the Constitutional Court. So some of you who were thinking to say, no, this lawyer has seen that he's going to lose. Yes, you are right. And that's why they want to talk. No, that was a trick. That lawyer played the court. He played the court by asking for an adjournment this side because he knew if the case had gone ahead, they were going to lose. So to buy time, he stops this case so that he can go and file a fresh case in the Constitutional Court. Because in the Constitutional Court, it is as good as a new case. And as a new case, it will have its own trial. And new evidence can be brought in because it is as new this side. But really, at the end of the day, whether it is in the High Court, whether it is in the Hague, whether it is wherever, the arguments that they'll still be talking about are basically the wishes of Edgar Lungu, the wishes of the family. That's it. In terms of the law, yes, they will look at the South African law, but they cannot just look at this matter, isolated from the Zambian constitution. They can't. Because this man is a former head of state. They can't. And then there is a big issue, the issue of public interest. I was reading in the comments, and somebody made a very good point in terms of public interest. Public interest, yes, we are talking about the Zambian public. But public interest extends to the South African government. Public interest extends to the South African government. And this is why the South African government has been pronouncing itself. This public interest, it is something that affects the general public. And this case has affected the general public in South Africa. This case has affected the general public in South Africa. That's why you see people making press conferences in South Africa. People, putting up placards and all. Government making statements because it is a public matter. And as a public interest, when you draw in South Africa has to consider the relationship that they have with Zambia. The relationship that they have with Zambia. So you cannot overlook this issue of public interest. Yes. Somebody has even spoken about the region. Yes. SADC as well. So it goes far. It goes far. So even the judges, those judges, it doesn't matter where they are. They will consider these issues. My brother, Chitago, may he so rest in peace. He used to tell me that a judge does not just look at the law. The judge also considers his wisdom. My brother, Chitago, the High Court judge, he was my brother, that man. I never used to associate myself, talk about him because, I didn't want to contaminate him with my politics. But when we used to sit, the two of us, I remember he offloaded a lot of wisdom in me, a lot of wisdom. And one of the things that he told me, as a judge, he told me, he says, you see, as a judge, we don't just look at the law. Sometimes we also consider wisdom. And he says that's why they wear those white things. Those wigs that they wear. It is a symbol of wisdom. They have their degrees and whatever. But they also wear those wigs. Why? It is wisdom. It is a sign of wisdom. So a judge does not just look at the law. He also considers wisdom. And he says, for example, he gave me one good example. He says somebody is accused of killing a person in the village. He says somebody is accused of killing a person in a village. And the entire village believes that this man has killed this one. The entire village, they believe that this man has killed this one. And they want to kill him, and he's only saved by the police. The police get him and put him in prison. And really the circumstances are not that this man killed this person. But because the whole village believes that this is the man that killed him. And now, you as a judge, you look at the matter to say, but you muntu you, tamu ipeyo. Okay? He's not the one that killed this person. But he considers to say, nga na chitaririzi uyu muntu na muchitaririzi bala muipaya panse pali. Okay? Abantu nabesa bali pakoti. Shanshani, bali panse fulu. Ero judge nomba naikala panelo le shati. Okay, uyu muntu uyu bati, tewa chitirefi. Ati nomba, you have to consider, I release this man. The moment he goes out there, they will kill him. How do you save such a person? He says, using wisdom, you have to use wisdom now. You may have to find this person, to convict this person, to make the people go away. Go away. And you find a way of making a judgment, ka sentence, whatever, somehow. Because you know that once I release this person, this person will be dead. So you have to save this person. And how do you save this person? If the only way to save this person is to keep him inside, you may have to come up and say, Uyumuntu, okay, the man slaughter, but let him stay inside. That is wisdom. Now, when you look at the South African case, do you really think that the judges will come out to say, let a former head of state be buried in Zambia? Do you really think those judges will agree that a former head of state of another country be buried in their country, in another country? Do you really think they will do that? Do you think those judges will go home and sleep? To say, yes, we have ruled that Edgar Lungu will be buried here. Just think about that. Just think about that. Just think about that. You think South Africa, whatever judge, yes, I'm a judges in South Africa, they are independent and everything. But do you really think that judge, even whatever, you really think at the end of the day, they will agree that Edgar Lungu alale in South Africa? Just think of it. You are being emotional. You are being emotional when you are thinking. But do you really think the South African, whatever, from the government point of view, from the court point of view, you think they will agree that Edgar Lungu, a former head of state, be buried in South Africa? For what reason? For embarrassing the incumbent. For embarrassing the incumbent. For embarrassing the government. Kabesha is there. Do you know how Kabesha is being looked at there? Kabesha is not there like Makebi Zulu. Kabesha is there representing the entire government. He is representing the entire government. You think Kabesha will be sitting there and these judges will rule against Kabesha, slapping him in his face? You pack up, you Zambians. Tamwa kwa tamano. Alawa esta lungo fabadela ndafina kwa tamano. Makebi Zulu fadela ndana kwa tamano. Who is Makebi Zulu? Who is Makebi Zulu? Who is Makebi Zulu? Who is Vaesta Lungu? At this moment, who is Vaesta Lungu? Vaesta Lungu. Who is Vaesta Lungu? Who is Vaesta Lungu? Na vekala mukoti mudia Vaesta Lungu na vekala hapa. Bakabesha na vekala hapa. How do you think they are being looked at? Bakabesha is there diplomatic or at a diplomatic level. Is at a diplomatic level. Bakabesha is representing our diplomatic relationship with South Africa. What is Vaesta Lungu representing? What is Vaesta Lungu representing? What is Makebi Zulu representing? So if that's why the court were just saying at Wiz Kabesha, you are a fool. Innocent Mbewe, you are a fool. At Wiz Kabesha. Who is Kabesha? Look around in your family. Look around in your family and see if there is anyone who has reached the level of Kabesh. Look around. Search among your ancestors. Among everyone. Search. And look around and see who has reached the position of Kabesh. At which Kabesh? Apo wikele now namuna nikane muli koroboy. At which Kabesh? So that is public interest. It is something that you cannot overlook. This case will shake the relationship that we have with South Africa. This case will remain as a topic in South Africa and in the region. So some of these arrogance ya kwa Makibi Zulu, kukana kwata mano, kukana kwata wisdom, and it doesn't matter which lawyer you bring. It doesn't matter. This case, is a bad one. It's a bad one. It's a bad one. It's a bad case, this one. It's a bad case. That lawyer, let him just make money. Let him make money, and I applaud him. My brother, make money out of these people. They have money, and charge them. Charge them. They have got money, I'm telling you. They have got money. I'll be exposing them. I'll be exposing them. Kairi, they want to do politics. And me, I want to squash your political ambitions. Every papa no magaidi. Tulefirira munsenga. Ine na muisha pamabwe. Nde chula kuno. You caused me to be in exile. Ero nomba mwanisha pamabwe. Ero nomba imwe mireke. Tulefirira munsenga. Some people are saying, hey, after this case, what are you going to be talking about? I'll be exposing Vakabwala MPF. I'll be exposing them. And I would rather Haka Inde Ichilema continues than to bring back those Vakabwala South Africa. I don't want those Kabwalalas to come back into power. Hey, tayari, your PF, your friends, uko Queen. Naredia nabo. Hey, no, Naredia nabo. Even the only person that I can talk about to say, Chatire Natire. Ini Bowman at least Naredia ko. Bowman ngakupela kwa 10 pin, at least. Not hawa sharawa mbalava, ni manan. 10 pin fidafin. Nakaiza Zulu, at least. Nakaiza Zulu. Ewa ningapenda ko Kaiza Zulu narija kwenda la mashako Kaiza Zulu narija kwenda la mashako nada mewa nokumiyeba, and I was not even hiding. Kaiza Zulu ngampela maafuna lera, and Kaiza Zulu has given me money. Enough for now, and I straightforward. Even Bowman, I sympathize with him. At least I can sympathize with him because at least Bowman, I don't pay like Bowman. 10 pin go off my Bowman, 10 pin, chan 10 pin. No chawa nkusaba. Ala imwe. It's not that I don't appreciate. I appreciate people who help me. I appreciate. Not a cabbage, mampela ma cabbage. You don't appreciate. Mr. appreciate ma cabbage. Kunganda takulia mara, kunganda takulia ubunga. Mampela ma cabbage. Mwale mwana chama cabbage ndea shinka. Mule mpela ma cabbage. Tama ishbat na likuwe tomusaru ku garden kuli. Na likuwe tomusaru. Wala mule ndongela ma cabbage. Ndemi bati ishkwe tamala iti mumu amuku mpela cabbage. Ala? No, tayari uletasha. Hey, you are in exile. Mundu vile muntu sana. Mundu vile nda mutasha. Mundu vile is a brother. That's why, no, I've got people that I respect. And I respect Mundu vile. Mundu vile nangwa stefia upuba. You won't see me here, coming here. Hey, Mundu vile. No, you won't. Because he's a brother. Who brother wako wali bariu. Mundu vile, I would call him at 03. He would pick the call. If it is necessary, Mundu vile, he will tell me, come. He said, Panganda. Kumane Panganda. He's a brother. Not a kosoro mulanda landapo. Useless. I'm telling you. na mchitumbi chavo kuti nashimpa muno kovati you are a very selfish man. I'm telling you, I'll tell you. Allah mundu vile muntu sana. Awenda mutasha. And it's not that he gave me alemperama 10 pin kwati ni boma. No. Mundu vile is about sharing what you have. Ngapisha mtumba apenda pali 2 pin. I think sendeniko 800. That is the kind of relationship, and I appreciate this kind of people. It's not about how much they give you. It is about, how, they empathize with your challenges. How they empathize with your challenges. It is not about that. No, Nangu wamtu mina I send to land. Sometimes mwai kana femulelanda. Walondola shan kunganda inawa kashi what. Akumfa. Anyway, kukosa fema dad, kukosa. Waya filafi. That is a brother. Evuntu. Not mulere po muntu, no, tatukwe tempia. Meanwhile, muleshitama Bentley. Meanwhile, muleshite fimaya ndoko, shani uko. Tase, ero mulefati, ntampe nide support vitumbi. Uko kuine, I can't support vitumbi. I'm gonna open phone lines. So that you can participate. I think today I've been a little bit emotional. But yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, it's not things. It's not what you were thinking to say. Balungu. Anyway. What is the biggest amount that I got? The biggest amount I got is 10 pin when I left the country. When I left the country and Kunganda takwari wino, and I called him, and that's how he sent into Ankan. He landed up. That's how he sent and with a 10 pin. You can ask and he sent and with a 10 pin at Wala Kunganda. That is the only money that I remember me getting money from Balungu. 10 pin. And that 10 pin was not given to me. I was out of the country. I had just left the country, and kunganda kwa shupa ko fida shanshan na batu mina phone. Kunganda na kushupa shanshan njafwe niko. Efo bat still organize ka 10 pin. Bapera and they were to the 10 pin kuba kashwandi. Hello you orange bati. Hey, tautasha. Fishing detash. Fishing detash. Na isa kuno. Na lichuri le kiri kama ticket shan nothing. Anyway, ni sokolola fimbifi. Tina sokolola ko fimbifi. But nkala sokolola kontanshi. Nkala sokolola. But not because, not revealing things that were happening in confidence. No, you need to understand. But what I don't want is, I don't want these Kawalalas to get back into power. Chawama achita continue. Then kuwe shabakawalala. So Munste understand very well. I know because some of you are saying, no, you are not loyal. What I don't want, and all of you who knows that you are part of Edgar Lungu, you are part of Kateo Yava Edgar Lungu, you are part of Kateo Yava Edgar Lungu. All of you who knows that you are part of the Kateo Yava Edgar Lungu, I am making a promise to you that I will make sure I squash your political careers. Because Mulibakavwa Lala, and you are selfish people. So I will not let you go. I will not. You can say Akainde Ichilema na firwa. You Akainde Ichilema is what. You can say all sorts of things. I don't care. I would rather have Akainde Ichilema than Bakavwa Lala. I would rather have Akainde Ichilema in power than Bakavwa Lala Imukawede. You shouldn't get back into power because and I can assure you, if you want, you can be challenging me. I'll be blowing you. Kwati nuclear bombs. I'll be ndei sanjaka mishemo atari nishukalala ndapo. I'll be exposing vakabwala. I'll be telling you who you. Kaida, I know. But before naremona kwata, no, ama guys they are just genuine businessmen, ni shanshani, whatever figure. Yeah. Hey, I've come to see that I won't say, but it's about kuliba Antoine Kadi. Kuliba Esther Lungu. Mpitane, Esther Lungu. Esther Lungu. Imwe. Esther Lungu baisa moshani. Esther Lungu tabakwa tempia. Esther Lungu bampere cabbage. Lero chawashani. You Esther. Mniwakabwala. Mweperefi.
Alright, that's all for you today, lovely viewers. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the video you just watched in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you, lovely viewers. Once again, I go by the name of Mutati Mpundu. I love you, peace, I gotta go.